Welcome back to another episode of Assassin 4. It's your boy Dre from PG. With me, I got my boy C-Note. What's going on with you?
What's going on with it, y'all? Just chilling, you know me.
And I got my other boy Dave, the Dr. Esquire. Dave, what's going on with you, man?
Not much. I guess for this episode, you can call me Visa, Discover, MasterCard, American Express. I'm going to be giving a lot of credit today. Giving out a lot of credit. Fortunately,
He charging it to the game. And he
Yeah.
charging it to the game.
This nasty. This is nasty business.
Yeah. It's a crazy business out here, but we must stay vigilant. You know.
I feel.
War is not over.
I feel. Hopefully we joined today by our boy BT. But yeah, man. As you know, we're heading to the finals. We have the Oklahoma City Thunder defeating the Minnesota Timberwolves in 5 in the Western Conference Final, and then we have the New York Knicks falling to the Indiana Pacers in 6. So before we even get to finals prediction and everything, let's talk about because kind of irony because they did a trade right before training camp, the Wolves and the Knicks. Let's just start with the Western Conference Final. It just seems like the Wolves were just outmatched at a point. It got ugly a lot of times in that series for Anthony Edwards and them boys. One game, Anthony Michaud, and he had like 2 players off his bench pulling up 20 plus in that one game, and if they just had like a little bit more from him or Julius Randle, maybe things could have got a little bit more interesting. But I mean, what y'all boys thought? Like, obviously, Oklahoma City showed that their defense was legit this round. They proved it all year, but they really put it on display guarding someone like Anthony Edwards the way they did, pretty much shutting him down. With team effort at that, it was a collective. But yeah, like what y'all saw in that series, like what y'all seen how the Timberwolves were just outmatched?
I'll go first. To me, looking at that game, it was like an all-around effort. Coaching was on point. At times, to be completely honest, at times the Thunder they were playing down a little bit. But for the most part, it was a coaching mix match. From a player standpoint, like honestly, the Wolves were going to get beat regardless. If you ask me, they were playing above their pay grade. They got hot at the right time. The end of season and going into the playoffs, they got hot at the exact time. We knew what was going to happen whenever they played the Warriors and Curry went down. So it was nothing really to say there. But they just cooled off at the wrong time. That's the best way to explain it. But it's the Thunder. Like the Thunder have been the best team in basketball the past 2 years. Damn the Celtics. The Thunder was just a young team last year. Now they're still a young team, but they got that experience under their boots. They got a veteran on the team that won a championship before, so he knows how to calm down the situation. And Alex Caruso. So if you ask me, what happened was meant to happen. It happened how it was supposed to happen. I didn't foresee them cooling off like how they did, but they just cooled off.
Yeah. I think it came down to just defensive intensity by the OKC Thunder. I think that was just the kind of the thing that just capitalized, like just put Minnesota to rest basically. But I kind of look back to I think after game 3, and I think this is probably something I'll talk about later when we discuss the finals matchup. But OKC sometimes what I've seen in these series, like there's going to be at least one game where you kind of get OKC kind of off their rocker a little bit, like they're not as focused, they're not as maybe the on-ball pressure is not the same, and you're able to, get out fast breaks, create turnovers. You're able to do those things, and Minnesota was able to do all those things. And in game 3, was able to get a lot of, easy buckets, open shots, and they were just hitting those shots. Game 4, was nip and tuck. I don't recall. I think Anthony Edwards had 16 that game, or was it game 5? I forgot.
Yeah, game 4.
Yeah, it was game 4.
Game 4, yeah. So I mean, I think what I saw from Anthony Edwards, is him trying to find different ways to figure out how can I just get loose from Lou Dort and Caruso and Casey Wallace and all these guys who are
Yeah.
How can I get loose? Like maybe I should get off the ball more. Maybe I should. Maybe I should. Like maybe my usage rate should go up. Maybe I should try all these different things, and that's part of the confusion that OKC gives you when it comes to like their defensive pressure and how they're just kind of force you to do what they want you to do.
Right.
So that's what it came down to. So when Minnesota wasn't able to win Game 4, Game 5, it was just a wrap.
Right.
That quarter showed everything. Like once Minnesota, especially like when you're down 3-1 like that, you gotta hit first. You have to hit first in order if you want to have a chance. So they weren't able to hit first. It was over by halftime. So
they got that ass whooped.
It came down to Game 4.
What day? That game was on what, Saturday?
No, it was on Monday. It was on Monday.
Yeah.
Last Monday. Hey, but when Minnesota couldn't win Game 4, you already knew it was a wrap, bro. Even if Minnesota wins Game 4, it's probably over in 6.
Yeah, 6. Yeah,
it's probably over in 6. Just because
I'm gonna
that good.
I'm gonna touch base on this when we talk about the finals as well. But like when OKC blitzes you, it's hard to come back from that. That shit is like an avalanche, boy, because they'll go up by 20 in a heartbeat.
Now OKC does have that demoralizing like Warrior Steph Curry runs when it's like it's just nonstop just scoring. Like the Celtics was able to do it last year. It's like they just had that type of energy where it's like, yeah, it could be 46-42 in 1 minute, and then next thing you know, you look up and it's like 75-48, and you like, hey yo, what the fuck just happened? And you see it in all kinds of ways. Like they get like we saw against the Timberwolves, like they was plucking them. Like Minnesota was sloppy with the pots out there, y'all. Like I've never seen so many people get plucked at the top of the key like they did. Like Caruso was stealing people's money, son. Like I swore he probably got like
a bully.
He got $5 million. He got $5 million bonus for all the time he was ripping people out there. So he was stealing lunch money for real. Like that shit was getting kind of crazy. And then because of what Caruso was doing, it just got everybody else going. Like now, Chet getting steals, Jalen Williams getting steals, Shea getting steals. Like that pressure just intensified when Caruso got in the game and changed the tempo of the game. So, okay.
You can't afford for Julius Randle and Anthony Edwards to play bad. And they almost got away with it in Game 4. Julius Randle,
and that was the crazy thing. Like, and we had a boy in the chat, Katie. He's like, Ant just looked tired, and I kind of agree. Like, he was trying to navigate the defense and try to score. And yes, you could say he was making the right keys. He was passing out the double teams and everything. But it's still like when you're an all NBA caliber player. Like, you just got to do more and find ways to score. You got to be a little bit more aggressive. Like, you shouldn't be ending a half with 4 attempts at the rim. Like, that's crazy absence, Anthony Edwards. Like you get into that level where you about to start getting some of this criticism, which is rightly deserved. As much as we value and how much we're a fan of your work, it's like you get into the point. I know you're 23 years old, so you got time to grow and everything. But this is just how much it's expected of you now. So when you down the series and you again, Dante DiVincenzo and Alexander both have 20-point games off the bench. Yeah. Like how many playoff teams lose a game like that when you have 2 players come off the bench and scoring 20, as long as your starting lineup does what they have to do. Yeah. So that Game 4 was probably demoralizing than why Game 5 looked the way it did, because when you have a close game like that with 2 people scoring 20 plus points off your bench and then y'all lost the game the way y'all did, sports is it's half mental just as much as physical. So shit like that, you just like you're on that bus or you're on that plane ride home, like, damn, man, like you just looking at each other like shit. Like if you don't got that motivator or your leader just looks like shit, man, I was like, man, I guess we need to just start heading looking at these flights. For these flights for next week.
Start making vacation plans. Start
hey, get there when the kids out of school. Yeah.
Start making plans.
Start making plans. Yep. That's what happens.
So Wolves offseason. So we saw what they did. They traded Karl-Anthony Towns away. They brought in Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo. They had a rocky start to the season, but they finished up making the playoffs straight up. They was the 6th seed. They made it to another Western Conference Finals appearance, but it seems like this team has already hit its ceiling with this Julius Randle, Anthony Edwards, Dante DiVincenzo. Like, so what are the Wolves going to try to do to try to take that next step, because they're going to need more than and elevating to another level in order to get to the championship and even win it.
Sign and trade Julius Randle.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. They need another slasher to go beside Ant. If you think about it, Julius Randle, he can score, but it's not consistent as you would want it to be. If you ask me, this is just me, and this is literally something that just popped in my mind. I would send him to New Orleans and get B.I.
B.I. or with the Raptors.
B.I. Toronto.
Yeah, he got traded on the trade deadline.
Trade deadline.
I do not recall that shit at all.
Yeah. You thought you was gonna cook, huh? You thought you was gonna
Go get Cam Thomas. Fucking go get Cam Thomas. They gonna want them ones. Y'all got some ones anyway. Go get them.
Yeah. I mean, I say two things. I say, first off, I'm sure like Rob Dillingham and Terrence Shannon Jr. they're gonna be in summer league, or they're gonna be playing. They're gonna be. You got to see what you got out of those two, because I think one of those guys is gonna replace Mike Conley. I think one of those guys is probably gonna be Terrence Shannon Jr. since he showed up, like he got a lot of playing time, especially in the conference finals. So I see what you have there, and then also like what are you gonna do? What's gonna happen with Alexander Walker? I guess he's an unrestricted free agent, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So are you gonna keep it? Like, are you gonna keep him? Are you gonna try to maintain him? If you let him walk, who are you gonna replace him with? Is it gonna be one of those young guards, or are you gonna like find somebody else for free agency? I think they need to find out what they're gonna do with that. Ant needs. I would see like how this goes again now that Julius Randle and Anthony Edwards have a little bit of time under them together. So see what it looks like, at least for half a season. See what it looks like, and and I think even like if they're both cooking, you still need somebody else that is able to create their own shot. So if you don't have like those young guards that can step up, or you don't find somebody else in free agency, you got to find somebody that's going to be able to create their own shot. And if possible, get Rudy Gobert out of there. It's probably impossible for what based on what they got him. But the guy can't make a layup, dog. Like, yo, there's no like nothing that he can commit to offensively as far as like post moves, bro. Like that is that's a clear liability on offense for them. So, I mean, I think those are some of the things that you try to explore if you're the Minnesota Timberwolves.
My 2 points would be, one, I would try to enter the KD sweepstakes. I try to make some calls, see what he's looking over there. One, I feel like KD still got some good years left in him. He probably got. I'm not going to put a number on it because, the way Curry, LeBron, and KD just define what regular prime year is supposed to be. Like, they still producing at these late stage age, and they're going into their late 30s now. So not going to put a cap on how many years he got until we actually see the fall off or anything. But I will try to make see what you can get out of that. But also, and maybe you can even get this from Phoenix, unless he's a free agent, you need to upgrade your point guard position. Mike Conley, he has a good serviceable career. Fringe all-star type player, but he was always consistent. You know what you're going to get out of Mike Conley from once he entered the league till he is now. But like KD, he's getting into his late 30s, and he's just not as impactful as he was in his earlier years, like when he was with Memphis and everything. So Bulls should look at And I understand they got guards like Dillingham and Shannon on the team, but I think they need to go in free agency and look to upgrade that starting point guard position because I think they just need to get younger and more athletic at that position, especially knowing like what type of league we're in right now with hyper combo guards at the attack of the point. So at the point of attack. So I think those are 2 points I think the Minnesota Timberwolves should look into to upgrade that roster because again, and at only 23 can only get so much better. I saw earlier, and it's kind of fucking hilarious because it came from Nick Wright of all people. He's like, because look what Shea was when he came to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Like he came in, he was like, he was on the Clippers. He was a young guard on the Clippers. Then when he get traded to OKC, he became like an all-star player. Then from all-star tier, he went to all NBA. Now he's an MVP. Where Aaron is right now, he's a all NBA caliber player. But in order to help the Timberwolves get to that next level, he needs to get into that MVP conversation now. That's at our early age. That's what Ant's next level has to be right now because he's already proven he's probably the top 2 guard in the league right now, hands down. So, and he's only going to get better. So, T talked about in our chat. Yeah, what T talked about some things he can work out in the off season is like get that post work and like Kobe, MJ, even Bron, KD, like they all learn how to navigate stuff through the post because that's easy to break down the double team. You can see more passing lanes, and you can dictate the offense from there. So something like that, and then you can still try hit threes from a high clip, but go back to that midi. Like one of the things we saw, and we can talk about this going with OKC. OKC had good mid range game throughout these playoffs. Like Shea was utilizing that mid range, and in the playoffs, you just need points, especially when the defense is ratcheted up. It's more intensified. It's more physical. So the analytics keep that shit for the regular season, but when it's playoff time, it's like you got to get a bucket, and 2 points is better than 0 on trips because your trips are limited. It's not going to be an up and down game like a regular season on a Wednesday night.
Especially when
Exactly. So I think that's some things in Ant's game that he can work himself to and take him to the next level. Again, y'all, he's only 23 years old. So 23 years old, 2 Western Conference Finals appearances under his belt. The kid's going to be fine. I think if the Wolves make some good moves, I think they're going to be right in the mix.
Getting back to your KD point, who would you say they should make those moves? Well, move to get KD.
I ain't going to lie to you. And it's only because, one, how KD style play is and his age. If you can finesse him and get rid of Randall for KD, that'd be the better option than getting rid of Rudy. Only because as bad Rudy is on offense and how much of a liability he is in the perimeter, he does give you a little bit of help defense post presence that without that, you can't have KD try to be your rim protector anymore. Like it worked in Golden State because they had good team defense and they was younger. But having KD be your rim protector at the 4 and 5 at this stage of the career, it's just not going to work. Phoenix tried it. It didn't work. And one of the best things about Minnesota Timberwolves has been their defense. So if there's a way where I don't have to give too much up on this defense, like keeping McDaniels, keeping Rudy, keeping Nas Reed, who's also he might be looking at going somewhere. You got to bring in the kid Alexander. So the main thing is if you can give up something without really giving up too much of your defense, then okay, cool. But I think any St. GM would still take Kevin Durant over Rudy Gobert anyway. So I'm just saying, I'd rather, if I want to make sure I keep my defense with just as much scoring power or even more, I try to get that Julius Randle contract off and bring KD in just because if we get rid of Rudy, who's out there because you still got to deal with Joker. Yeah. You still got to deal with Sengun. You still got to deal with Chet and Hartenstein on OKC Thunder.
If you get rid of Joker, you have to keep Nas Reed. Point.
You got to contend with Dallas with AD, Lively, and Gafford. So it's not like 10 years ago where the 5 position was expendable. Like you kind of need something to kind of give you at least a little bit of anchor, because you saw what happened with the Lakers. Like they tried to finesse the league with Jackson Hayes, and the league was like, y'all got me fucked up. They tried to Alex and Jackson Hayes, and they found out real quick. Yeah, you better have somebody in the paint for that protection, dog.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think the Wolves are going to be fine, man. We just gotta see what they do later in this offseason. But shoot, let's talk about this Eastern Conference Finals. Talking about restoring the vibes of an old classic rivalry. We had the Indiana Pacers taking down the New York Knicks. Hey, look, this is all I'm going to say. Do I like this team? No, I do not. No, the fuck I do not. Do I respect Halliburton's game? Yes, I do. I gotta give him respect. Yes, I do. But it's always going to be fuck the Indiana Pacers. I just don't rock with them. Like 99% of that team is some bitch ass niggas. They some hoes. We all know this. But they some bitch ass hoes that can hoop. So that's what it is. But we had to align agendas for 1 week, because I'd be damn. I want to see New York Knicks prosper after the shit they did after they beat the crippled ass Boston Celtics in 6, looking like they. What did I say in the chat? Outside Patrick Beverley celebration fan edition. Cause why the fuck y'all look like the Eagles won the Super Bowl after winning Game 6 in the semis? What the fuck going on, man? Y'all can't be that desperate for prosperity to look like some damn fools, man. Cause ain't no way, bro. I just knew when they got Boston the way out there, I was like, New York going so ignorant for no reason.
No.
But then again, I had to join the League of Assassins, the Haliban edition. You know, we had to purify Gotham. We had to purify the city. We was not going to be denied. Batman wants to go and stop us. We had Bane handle that light work and everything. You know, Damian was on our side, so we took his son too. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it was a lot of calcium over here, a lot of milk, more than my liking. But, you know, we need milk for our bones and everything. So we was just out here strong on niggas and shit, bro. We was just out here strong on niggas, bro. So we had to get that job done, man. We had to get that done. Hey, yeah, man. Look,
what we have seen for the past few years now. The nastiest shit I've seen in the entire series is Reggie Miller. Reggie Miller was, God.
Yo, he was your boy. He was your boy. He was your boy.
Him and Stan Van Gundy were talking big shit. Him and Stan Van Gundy were talking big shit.
Yo, that tweet when they said Reggie Miller, he was pointing at Halliburton like Emperor fucking Palpatine.
I told you, that was your boy. That's your boy. Like, let's stop. Like, having Reggie Miller be on the call for that whole entire season was nasty work from the beginning, bro. Like, because he wasn't even there. He wasn't even being professional. He was a whole ass fan throughout the whole series. I've never seen such a one-sided call in my goddamn life, bro. He was like, he tried to be political. It's like, oh, that was a good shot by John. He didn't give a fuck about that shit, bro. Halliburton there in between, in the out, he was like, oh, look at that, he broke that nigga off. I'm like, oh, come on, son.
Yo, he showed up to Game 6 in all black, said, oh, yeah, we prepared for the funeral.
Oh, Reggie Miller did that? Oh, my God, bro.
But see, that's the problem, bro. The New York Knicks gave these Bama's too much aura, bro. Because Halliburton came in all black, and here comes Ben Starr talking about, oh, he's packing up his luggage so when they come back to New York for Game 7. And then, of course, they get smacked. And then Halliburton was like, nah, we just here to pack y'all up. I was like, come on. Come on.
They was oil farming that entire series, and they got it off. They got it off.
Oh, man.
This is your fault, Dave. I want you to know this is all your fault, bro. And you know why. You know why this is your fault. You have to be out here. You want to be goddamn Sam Wilson, Captain America, head ass motherfucker and shit, talking about call to arms and shit like you gotta try to call the goddamn Avengers. Yeah, the B Avengers came, nigga, and they got that ass stomped. That's what the fuck happened, man. Like, god damn, son. When you gonna learn, Dave? When you gonna learn that? It carried over. It carried over.
How did it carry over? How did it carry over? It's a whole new.
Why are they still here, Dave? Why are they still here, Dave?
You gotta ask Tom Thibodeau that. You gotta ask Tom Thibodeau that shit. Not me. The nigga don't play. The nigga barely played 9 players on a baseball field, is what Kenny Smith said. until game 3. Bruh. Come on, man. Look. Hey, look. This is interesting though. Because let me tell you guys something. I was watching Netflix the other day.
Right.
And the first thing that showed up was American Manhunt Osama bin Laden. And before I could go to anything else, a little preview clip started playing. And they show this nigga Osama coming out of where he was hiding from or whatever. And he was like walking through like this garden or whatever. And the guy that's like being interviewed, the guy that's talking is like, oh, like he's kind of talking about, oh shit, like this is I think we finally like seen him. We finally got him. We finally got footage of him. We finally know where he's at. And the way that he was describing Osama, I couldn't believe. I wasn't expecting him to say this shit, but he described him as a pacer, and I was like, a pacer. Interesting choice of words. Is there something that you know that I don't know in this documentary? What was this documentary film? A pacer. And come to think, it's kind of, if you put Bin Laden and Halliburton side by side.
See, come on, man. We're not doing
there's a little bit of resemblance. There's a little bit of resemblance. So I just found that interesting.
I mean, it's two bright people that took down some twin towers. So I mean, I understand.
Oh God.
I'm sorry. Please don't cancel us. We love America. I promise we do.
Hey, YouTube, just let us cook, man. Just let us cook.
I promise you. But let's get to so the New York Knicks, they traded 5 picks to get Mikal Bridges. They traded away one of the Villanova boys to get Karl-Anthony Towns. And Corey, you know what my favorite pastime is when a team or when they lose, they always come out with the reports. They always come out with so
the next day after the game ends.
It's like they got a timer. It's about to be. Oh, this game about to be cooked. All right, 6 a.m. on the dot. Press this send button. Apparently, there's been plenty of team meetings about Karl-Anthony Towns' effort on defense. I mean, this is what I'm going to say. Cause it goes back to the Sacramento Bulls. When a long time ago, there was a Minnesota Timberwolves team, right, y'all? It had Karl-Anthony Towns and Tom Thibodeau.
Mm-hmm.
They tried to have Cat at the 5. It did not work. So let's fast forward to a few years later. You're now the coach of the New York Knicks. You traded for Karl-Anthony Towns, and you put him back at the 5 with Tom Thibodeau as the coach. A defensive-minded player with a person that can't play defense. And your point guard is already a cone. It don't matter how electrifying he is and how great he is in the playoffs. He is, in fact, a cone.
Hey, driver's ed shit. Drive around.
So, again, I ask, why did you think this combination was going to work? I asked this question.
Especially whenever you knew they gave this man a nickname when he was in Minnesota and called him Kitty Cat because he was soft.
That's when this comes into question.
Speaking
Tom
of
Thibodeau, because you came from a certain coach, so now I'm just trying to see how that always shit happened. Because ain't no fucking way y'all have all this experience, but y'all always come back to doing the same shit y'all been doing. That be effing y'all up. Ain't no fucking way.
Teague said it. Teague said Tibbs don't be coaching. He just let players get off. He said they be watching tape and the only thing he say is, damn, he got you. Damn. Teague said it.
Nah, like when I post that tweet in the chat earlier when someone else say, yeah, Knicks offense is so go get a bucket cut.
Go cook him, cut.
And their defense was, you gonna let him do you like that?
That's Tibbs.
Run for the Knicks, like you even put like Sonya Lee in front of OJ and he couldn't like do anything. Like he was just as productive in that game 7 on one leg. Like you gave up 5 picks for Mikal Bridges, and he did all right. But again, Rudy has more accolades than Mikal Bridges, and y'all gave up at least 5 picks for Rudy. Y'all gave it the same amount of picks just so y'all can try to win with the power of friendship, like y'all fucking anime and shit. Like I don't know what. Like I'm just trying. But on a.
Keep going.
I'm just going. I'm gonna be real because, and I want y'all to hear me out because I don't want to add Steph in this category per se, even though you could. Okay, you can, but the small guard being led, but championship teams led by the small guard. It's not too many of those. We have fanfares like Allen Iverson tried to do it. He got knocked down by the Lakers, Kobe and Shaq, right? So you can add Steph and then Isaiah Thomas, but outside of that, like the small guard leading a team to a championship is just so rare. Especially he doesn't have.
The reason why I work for Zeke is you have to look at the makeup of that team regardless.
Okay.
He was a small guard, but everybody else was like, "No, we're gonna knock you the fuck out."
Basically,
that's pretty much what it was. And they ran through the league and they scared the entire league. They got those 2 rings, and that's when Mike had to step up.
Mm-hmm. So what New York to do? Because of course, rumor is regardless of how many upsets they got rid of to get Cat and Mikal Bridges. They damn near might try to pull a stunning trade off to try to get Giannis Antetokounmpo to kind of help them out. But I mean, I would say the Knicks should be proud of themselves to even make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. I'll give them credit for that. But it seems like Indiana proved that if all teams were healthy, Indiana proved that they was probably the second best team coming out of the East this year. We don't know how they will look against a healthy Boston team, but I give the Pacers much credit. Like they did look like a top 2 team coming out of the Eastern Conference, and damn near like a top 5 team overall in the league. The way they play in these playoffs, there were some close games in this series, but the Pacers was just always so clutch in that fourth quarter and down the stretch, especially Tyrese Halliburton. So. Yeah. I don't know what y'all think the Knicks need to do, or what's y'all analysis for what you saw from the Knicks in this series. But I mean, I just feel like if they played them tough, it was like a rivalry type atmosphere. It's just the Pacers just hit tough shots and they dictated the pace. Like the Knicks could be up with their pace overall, and they choked on game 1. That was what their first mistake was.
That's really where it comes down to really like. I can point to other games like Game 4. They turned the ball over like 20 plus times, just like they did in Game 6. I mean, Game 2, you could say like the Knicks, could have tried to, but I think Indiana had like more control of that game than the Knicks did. And New York was already trying to get over what happened in Game 1. But Game 1, when you're up 16 with 2.5 minutes left or whatever it is, or 9 minutes. Not up 9 with 50 seconds left or whatever it was, you have to find a way to win that game. And if New York finds a way to win Game 1 and they lose Game 2 and they split in Indiana and they're able to split Game 5 and Game 6 as well. I mean, maybe Indiana still wins Game 7. Like even if the Knicks had won Game 6, it was no guarantee to me that New York was going to win Game 7. It was no guarantee, just off the way that Indiana plays.
I want people to be clear. The teams are not too far apart because the games, it was a good series for 6 games. So it wasn't really like any blowout moment.
No crazy blowouts. Yeah.
Right. So it was really just came down to execution down the end for pretty much all 6 games. Like I know the Patriots pull away in Game 6 and everything, and then the Knicks kind of overwhelmed them a little bit in Game 5. But the first 4 games were those were grind out games. Like that was the series more than the Oklahoma City and then the Minnesota Timberwolves. Like the series lived up to the hype, in my opinion. So you got some good basketball out of it.
To me, like Knicks shouldn't change nothing. It's just that this season alone, Indiana was just their kryptonite. That's all that it was. They don't need to change anything. I wouldn't change anything. If you're gonna add something to it, okay, cool. But they don't have to go in like, oh, we're gonna make this grand slam trade that we feel like is gonna help us, because what if it doesn't? Then you done shot yourself in the foot.
Yeah. I will say this. Not to cut you off, I will say this: they did start the year with Mitchell Robinson missing majority of the season. So he came in. He was. I think he was. He did his thing in the playoffs with the minutes that he had. Of course, he's a liability when it comes to like the hack a Shaq type plays, and he missing at the free throw line. But I really think if he's your center and you move Cat back to the floor like he was in Minnesota when Rudy was there, I think you get more out of him than having him at the center. Because at least you have your defensive anchor and Mitchell Robinson, so Cat can go back to being that stretch four, and he's in a better position than trying to put him at center. Because him at center just doesn't work. Like AD hates playing center, but he actually can play center. Cat don't need to be playing center. He's just not a dog to be at center. We just know he just don't got it. He gets beat in the post by guards. Like a guard like Caruso. Somebody like Caruso can check him and that's a problem. So you gotta put him back at the four.
Yeah, they don't have a lot of cap space to change a lot of things. Like as far as
it has to be a grand slam move. That's the only way that they can actually make a move.
They don't have a lot of space, and I mean, I think a change of philosophy needs to happen. Like all this, like Thibodeau, like playing guys like 40 plus minutes a night throughout the regular season. That shit has to stop. Like if you want to do anything, if the Knicks ever want to win a championship, you have got to stop playing your starting lineup 40 plus minutes a night. Like you have to, like, use your bench. And the crazy thing is, all their free agents, like whether restricted or unrestricted, they're all like seven. They're all bench players. And the four, like Shamet, Wright, Achua, and Payne, like the ones that actually got minutes, are all unrestricted, so they can all leave. Like, so what are you gonna do with that bench? And you have to use that bench because Mikal Bridges, Mikal Bridges hasn't missed a game, but we saw during the season that he was tired of playing 40 plus minutes a night.
Yeah,
like, and I'm sure
my man was crying for help. My man was crying for help. He was like, "Hey, dog, you need to chill.
Help me, take me out."
No, me and Corey, we said this earlier. We was like, when Mikal right there, we was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be the game of sight, and within the game, it's gonna be the man that never missed a game versus the man that crashes all his star players out. Who's gonna win this match, bro? Mikal made it through year one. We're gonna see how this goes through year two. He made it.
Hey, which game was it that he started and he played for like 5 minutes and he checked himself out for the rest of the game?
No, the last game of the season.
That's the last game. He didn't even play 5. He played 5 seconds.
5 seconds. Yeah, 5 seconons. And I was like, oh man, y'all wild.
He got in. Fouled. So his happy ass down. 5 minutes. Why risk it? 5 seconds, man. Why risk it?
He fouled a nigga and gone right to the bench. That was the happiest I've ever seen Bridges, dog.
I already know them players. They gonna throw a party. Boy,
I think they're gonna be too tired to party, Curry. I think they're gonna be too tired to party.
I mean, looking at their minutes, like they're like, yo, how the fuck y'all play every other night, dog? How the fuck y'all do that? Like, I know y'all.
And that's the thing. I know. I understand that they was playing every other night, but that's different from like the first 2 rounds where you got like a couple two as well.
No, yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm in here watching wrestling. They in here promoting a Tyrese Halliburton T-shirt.
You got the juice, man.
It's begun.
With him doing the choke.
It's begun. It's begun. I ain't even gonna say nothing about it, man.
Okay, before we get to the finals, y'all, I have to ask this. I wish the rest of the bros was here, but I have to ask this question. Because this all started with a rant from a former NBA player, doing his post-game segment.
Ooh, I was wondering when this was going to come up.
As Tyrese Halliburton better than Jalen Brunson?
Oh.
Hey, this is all I'm going to say. One person was on Team USA this past summer. Even though he didn't play, he was still on the team.
Oh man, you really about to do that, Corey, bro?
What happened when they played? That's all I got to say.
I told myself I wouldn't slander these pay. I told myself I wouldn't do it, bro.
No,
don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Do not jinx my boy. Do not
Corey.
jinx my boy.
Corey. All I'm gonna say is somebody has a 2-0 advantage in a playoff series when they meet up against each other. That's all I'm gonna say. The history books is gonna say someone's right now is currently 2-0 when they meet each other in the playoffs. That's all I'm gonna say.
Dave, I just need you not to jinx my boy. Like coming from someone, and Dre will tell you this, coming from someone who has enough hate in his heart, whenever he sees his enemy go down, when he sees his op go down, he always saw the person that put his op down go down next. So please don't jinx my boy.
And just know, man, like, look, the stuff I have in my chamber, the stuff I have in my book, the stuff I have in my repertoire, my Rolodex, it can feed families. It can feed more people than what Jesus did with five pieces of fish and 2 loaves of bread.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I promise.
Oh my God.
See.
Oh my God.
I promise you.
Dave said he got the great supper. He has
shout out to my favorite Bible story. I'm
saying. I got it, but I'm not gonna say anything. The answer to your question is Halliburton. Halliburton is better. Halliburton, man. He can score at a high clip, even when he's not, and even if he doesn't really need to, he's still getting 10 plus assists, and he's still giving you 6-7 rebounds. And even if he's not scoring like that, like the games in which Indiana loses is when he has 7 and 5 or 7 points, 5 assists or some shit. Like when he starts playing like TJ McConnell or something. Like that's when they lose. But even game 6, like he had 21, I think 13 assists, I think.
Yeah.
8 rebounds or something like that. Or 6 rebounds. So yeah, like a lot of those points didn't happen until the fourth quarter.
And that's money time.
Yeah, but throughout the course of the game, keep in mind, when he went into the fourth quarter, Indiana was already up by double digits. Indiana was already up by 12.
Yeah.
In the fourth quarter. So at that point, I think he already was close to 10 assists, already had 10 assists, and I think he was somewhere around 10 points going into the fourth quarter. So he dominated the game. So he doesn't really need to score as much, especially if other guys are are hitting shots, because everybody in that rotation, everybody in the Pacers rotation can hit shots. I didn't know Thomas Bryant can hit shots like that. I honestly didn't know. I didn't know Thomas Bryant could hit shots.
He worked on his shot.
I didn't know he could. And I think maybe the only guy, but he's injured right now, was Tony Bradley. I think that's the only guy in the rotation that can't really hit shots like that. But everybody else can. Everybody else. Obi Toppin can hit a hezzy step back on you.
It's crazy work. He beat his former team again. Crazy work.
McConnell,
poor man's Pritchard.
If you leave him open, he gonna hit the shot.
Poor man's Pritchard.
Everybody, we already know what everybody in the starting lineup can do.
Yeah.
Game 1, if Nesmith doesn't get hot in the fourth quarter from 3-point line, the Knicks don't win. I mean, the Pacers don't win game 1 if it. I know
that was a crazy heater.
Yeah, that was a crazy heater.
Yeah, bro. And the way Charles Barkley described it is you get an open shot, boom, you get another one, boom, and then all of a sudden he on a roll, and now instead of figuring out how to guard him, you're just trying to put the fire out. Trying to put the fire out, and it's too late. So, I mean, everybody in that starting lineup, Turner, Siakam, they get all his shots. They done turned Siakam into a fake ass wide receiver. The way they all them outlet passes that he be having, I don't know if he's cherry.
Hey, Dave. What's your beef with Siakam, man? He gave you a
look. I'm not gonna say anything about it. I'm not gonna say anything about it. I'm not gonna say anything.
Bro?
No, I'm not gonna say anything.
I asked because at first I was like, Halle Band should have got Eastern Conference player, and then it was like, Siakam got 30 plus points 4 times. I was like, okay, that's kind of valid. But then I went back. I was like, but I was like, Halliburton second in points, and then he's won in the series and everything damn else. And I'm like, damn, two and a whole bunch of ones versus one versus I don't know what the fuck that man got. I don't know, man. It was a funny moment. It reminded me of the All-Star celebrity game with Drewski and,
Yeah,
and oh boy, they was in the chat. We was like, hey yo, who? I was like, hey yo, who won Eastern Conference play? He's like, that African.
43.
Yeah, the guy that went on 43. Yeah, he.
I was like, Dave hating on an African is wow, bro.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's just like that, man. It's just like that.
But look, shit. Since we on the pages, man, look, the next matchup, the champ finals, 4 games away. They're going against the heavily favored Oklahoma City Thunder. For all you casuals out there that's complaining because it's not LeBron, Luka, and the Lakers, or the Celtics, or like the Rockets, or that. Let me tell y'all something real quick. This series could be going down 5. Real talk, maybe even 6. I hope it goes 7. Nah. But we watching 2 teams that's probably played the best basketball in these playoffs. Mm-hmm. And not only do they have a good starting 5, they also have a really good bench too. So they're not a team like New York that can only go 7 deep. They're not, and the way that their rosters are constructed, they could play in different styles. They could play traditional ball, 2 bigs, perimeter, or they could play small ball. It's a lot of combination mismatches, and I can't wait to see what the coaches got dialed up. Because what I find interesting is about the Indiana Pacers, their route. And I know even Dame played like a game and a half before he went down with his injury. The Pacers have always played teams that have scoring guards at the point of attack. You had Dame, then the next series you go into Garland, Donovan Mitchell, and then you go into Jalen Brunson. So I'm not saying all those teams are like Oklahoma City. It's just like you kind of used to this kind of how you're going to have to defend this type of style team where that point of attack is coming straight from the point guard or the person that has the ball the majority of the time in his hands. So I kind of find it interesting. That was kind of the route that Indiana Pacers are taking to try to win their first championship. But I just want to know what y'all thoughts, what y'all think, like what y'all think Oklahoma City is going to do to kind of contain Halliburton's production, because like Dave alluded to, it's not that Halliburton is dangerous with his scoring. Sometimes it's just he gets the offense going. Yeah, he gets the offense with his passing. And if he don't get credit with the assist, it's the hockey assist. It's the vision. It's how he helps the Pacers keep moving the ball around. It's what he does in transition. Because he gets the rebound, he kicks it out and going. So, like, how does OKC try to minimize something like that?
I think. Oh, go ahead.
No, you got to go ahead. I went first last time.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say, like, I think, it's funny, because, what has and to their name, like Pacers, like, is the pace of the game. Like, the pace of the game is what dominated Milwaukee, is what was able to put Cleveland in a chokehold, and we saw it in this series against the Knicks. When Halliburton is able to distribute and be able to get assists even when he's not scoring as much, it's usually like when they're creating turnovers and they're like fast breaks, or if even if the other team scores, they quickly, like 3-4 seconds later, they're able to get a layup, so they're able to do that stuff. Like that's how he's able to just like keep things in rhythm even without scoring. The thing that interests me the most with this series, and this could be a 4 or 5 game series, but it also could be a 6-7 game series, depending on how OKC approaches it. But I'm interested to see what Indiana does with the pick and roll, because in the previous 3 series, they've been able to pick out guys that they like the matchups on the perimeter. Like Milwaukee, they had a bunch of guys they were able to do it with. Cleveland, they picked out Jared Allen a lot of times. They focused on Brunson and I think maybe Mitchell Robinson at times, like out on the perimeter. So with OKC, who are you going to do that with? You're not going to do it with Caruso. You're really not going to do it with SGA. You're definitely not going to do it with Lou Dort. You're definitely not going to do it with with Hartenstein, Chet Holmgren.
Nah.
I don't think so. Like who are you going to single out on pick and roll? Is what
That's
I'm.
good.
They have really good help pick and roll defense as well too.
Yeah,
like they were rated the number one defensive team in the league for a reason.
And that's why they were so successful.
Yeah, exactly. And then like off the bench, like with guys like Aaron Wiggins and Isaiah Joe and the other J Dub, like the big man J Dub. Like I don't know where they're gonna find good matchups at. Where they're gonna find.
I think that's why Oklahoma City defense is so good. We gotta remember there was a point in time in the season where they had no post players.
Yeah.
Like J Dub and Dort were the 4 and 5. But they were still being productive. They were still winning games at a high clip until Hartenstein, until the other Jalen Williams came back. So that's how I know this is like a legit good defense, because when you're not even dependent on your 7-footers, because I just found out today Isaiah Hartenstein was fucking 7 foot. I thought he was 6'10", 6'9", some shit like that.
I thought he was 6'10", dog.
Apparently, because I'm watching NBA TV. First of all, for the rest of this finals, NBA TV or podcasters, don't go to ESPN. Don't even waste your time. It's not good over there. Scott or Tim. Outside of them, NBA TV, or go to your favorite podcast. The finals breakdown is going to be better. But back to our discussion. Like Horter said, number one defense in the season for a reason. Like they know they switch very well. And then what you got to, actually you can say this for both teams, because this is a good point I like about both teams. Both of them play a good physical brand of basketball.
Yeah.
So one thing I'm actually going to be interested to see is how the rest is going to call this series, because both teams were the two teams that the other teams were criticizing. Like they really be hacking us out there. They be fouling. They do all this crazy stuff. And yeah, there's some hacking going on in the playoffs, but I see it from all different teams. But I just see the Thunder and the Patriots. They was willing to go that extra mile to be more physical. Like they was going to make the ref make that choice to blow the whistle and see what type of game they was going to be calling. But Dave, back to you. You made a good point about that pick and roll.
The thing about it with OKC is that they're so deep. Like pause. They run crazy. like 15 players deep, man. So you gotta play through it. Gotta talk through it. 15 foul trouble. It's still hard to. It's hard to actually beat them that way. Like they can still play tough defense, get players into foul trouble, and they still come back. They still come at you with different people. Like that's the thing about it. That's what makes them a great defensive team. It was something else I saw. It was an incredible stat that I actually saw on a podcast. Phil Jackson came up with this. Well, he coined the term, the 40 game rule.
Oh yeah.
I can send that to y'all. Yeah. You want to get to your first 40 games before you lose your first 20 games.
Yeah.
And OKC not only have they did that, they already at 80 games before they've reached 20 losses. That's something unheard of. Like a lot of teams don't reach that point. I think they're like the fourth team in the history of the NBA team.
Like it's like the Bulls, the Warriors. Like it's rare. It's like rare that you get that many wins before 20 losses. So that's why you see them being highly favored in this coming into the series. You come out the Western Conference, which everybody knows again is the best conference between the two. You got the MVP, and you got the number one rated defense in the league. And on your way to the championship, the only team that really gave you problems was the Denver Nuggets, and that's because they have Joker and Jamal Murray. So, I mean, and we can talk this in another discussion, but we know like some of the better teams came out of the West. Like the Clippers versus the Nuggets was damn near like could have been a conference finals matchup in a sense, but as of right now, OKC and the Pacers, they did what they had to do to get here. They both got phenomenal guards that runs their team. They got depth on both squads. But and I know this is kind of your thing because this is a matchup we always look forward to, Corey, the coaching matchup. We had somebody like Rick Carlisle who's been here before, and he's been the underdog in the finals matchup before. One thing I know Rick Carlisle does is like he is going to have tendency where he's going to try to like muck the game up and see what like little things he can pick from OKC Thunder that kind of get them out of rhythm and kind of be like, if we keep this a close game, we've seen from the Pacers, like if it's a close game, you damn near bet on them because and a point that y'all made earlier, y'all was talking about how like OKC has one game they lackadaisical in a series. They really can't afford to do that because the Pacers like the one team we've seen this playoffs where if they down 15, they down 20, the game's not over yet. You really got to go 0-0-0 to them. And even if they're up 9 with 30 seconds left, the game is still not over yet. Like Halliburton has had a clutch moment every series so far. So that's one game. And then you compound that with a lackadaisical OKC game. That's possible 2 games that you're losing right there if OKC is not on point. So they have to be careful with that because Indiana, it's not. I don't think Indiana is going to be like a team that it's going to be a cakewalk.
And we saw with Mark Dagnall in the Nuggets series. I mean, that game 1, there were some questionable adjustments. I think in game 1, or game 3. So Rick Carlisle is a phenomenal coach. I mean, like the team that he won the team that he won a championship with. Yeah, although like those guys were, a lot of those guys were veterans and had a lot of time in the league. The philosophy is the philosophy. I feel like Indiana's good enough. Like there's going to be one game in which they're just going to go crazy. Like I feel like to me that's probably going to be either game 3 or game 4. Like they're just going to go crazy. OKC, the thing about this matchup, I look at it, with Chet and Hartenstein versus Indiana's front court, Turner and Siakam. Who's going to play better? Who's going to play better between those duos, and then the backcourts for both teams, like Nembhard and Halliburton, along like against SGA, Lou Dort, Jalen Williams, and then Neesmith. I just find it hard to believe that SGA and Lou Dort are going to let Andrew Nembhard just like lock them
up.
I think that's where it kind of gets interesting because I just hearing you like rattle the names off and everything, like these teams are almost damn near identical on like play style and like what kind of players do for their team. I think the only difference is it's like SGA is that attacking point guard that can kind of give you a triple double because he's going to make sure he still gets his assist. He's still going to rebound the ball at a high rate. And then you got Halliburton, who he's still he's kind of like one of the last few traditional point guards, but he's still going to attack the basket. He got that awkward 3-point shot, but it works for him. It's clutch. So that's kind of
this is funny. I'm just sitting here thinking about this shit. When Rick Carlisle won the finals, it was a point guard, well, not a point guard led team, but you had that point guard who could facilitate the offense, that can get you a 3, that can literally do everything that you need him to do at times. And a Jason Kidd, now he has a more younger point guard that can do all of the things that you need him to do on the court and facilitate that offense, get everybody open, get the offense flowing and rolling. Like it might get scary just now sitting here thinking about this.
That's what I'm thinking. Even like from a coaching standpoint, it might get scary. But I'll just be very surprised if Andrew Nembhard outplays SGA. I just find it very hard to believe. Like I'll be very surprised if SGA consistently lets Nembhard like get the best of him. Like
at the end of the day, this is going to come down to which team got the best 2 Canadian duos. It's an OKC or it's a fucking Indiana Pacers. That's what it's going to come to. SGA and Dort, versus Neymar and Dave's worst enemy.
Matherin's Canadian? What?
Oh shit! I gave him a clip. I just gave him a clip. Look, no, Dave, don't say nothing. The revelations on the revelations on this episode is amazing, bro. You didn't see him in the background for that doc, that Olympic doc on Netflix, bro.
He was on the team.
Yeah,
I know Nemhard was on the team. Matherin was on the team. What?
Oh, they got.
I just didn't know. I didn't know.
Boy, this Indian. I feel like they got an album. But he might try to drop this joint like Friday Night Lights, bro. He said, I might just have to drop this shit. fuck what the label's saying. He said, fuck what the label trying to say.
I gotta be stingy. I gotta be stingy like Mace with this album. I gotta be stingy like Mace. I gotta be stingy like Mace with the album. I can't say nothing. I have too much respect for our boy KD and for everybody else that is rooting for the Thunder Up crew. I got too much respect. I can't. I just can't.
No, like, I feel.
No. I'm real. Like, trust me. I'm Green Goblin right now. Like that mask is looking at me right now.
I know. No, Dave. I understand. Dave, I understand. I just don't want you to have to happen to what to me happened to you. Like watching the Eagles win that Super Bowl after I wish for their downfall, bro. That's stung. Okay. That shit stung. I don't want to see, because I can only imagine the world we're gonna live in with you watching Halliburton hold the trophy.
I don't even want to talk that way.
That'd be a nastiness like how I had to witness 2009.
Why are you gonna do that to yourself, man?
That's why I couldn't even name it. I just had to say the year.
Don't. We know.
Like, hold on. Okay, yeah.
We don't gotta go there. We don't gotta go there. But to me, back. But I'm trying to get this point. X factors. I think Siakam is going to have to be real aggressive this series, because I think they're actually going to try to negate him, because they know they get most of the buckets out of him from the half court sets. Like that's their player, their go-to player for the half court sets and everything. So it'd be interesting to see who they start on him and how they guard Siakam. Do they try to pretty much use the same type of play style like they did with Anthony Edwards in the last series? And are they going to use that strategy for Tyler Hertenberg, and just so like it just make it hard for him even to get a pass off? Like they just going to try like lock him up. So like I really think it's going to be like some interesting defensive matchups on both sides, because both do hunt out of the pick and roll. But like I say, both teams, they got players that, you're not just going to just switch off and just say, oh, like, what was that series between the Cavs and the Heat when Garland and Hero was going at each other?
Yeah.
It's like he said, yeah, we just know which player to go to. We know who a liability like Hero, and then Hero coming back. It's like, boy, who you talking about? I was like, oh god, not two cones talking to each other about who more of a cone was crazy work. I was like, this is crazy discussions going on.
I was like, Darius Garland, you're one to talk, man. You're one to talk, and then the next series is you. It's your turn. I saw that play from a mile away. But the X factor for me is actually, the bench. Okay, like OKC, like Caruso, Cason Wallace, Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins. Who else? I remember light skinned Jay Will, and whoever else, like
Duke Dennis.
Five. Wait, who's that? Yeah, but they go 5-6 deep, right? In they bench. And the same thing with Indiana, right? Like I said before, everybody in the Indiana rotation can light you up, bro. Even fucking Ben Shepherd can light you up. TJ McConnell be dipping and swerving.
Pritchard.
Like he be dipping and swerving. Like I saw a whole bunch with against the nigga, even against the Cavs too. Ben Mathurin, like when he struggled a lot, especially in the conference finals. But
He just got that. He just got that Lance Stevenson shit going, bro. He just there to agitate motherfuckers, man.
Yeah,
like
man.
he's such a ass nigga, bro. Like he's so ugly. Son.
He's a YN, man. What more do you expect?
He does some shit every series, bro. I'm like, son, he's just, oh god, bro. Just
he's a YN, and then I respect like Obi Toppin can hit shots, like Thomas Bryant give you good minutes, like so like guys like that. So, yeah, I mean, who's gonna play better? Who's gonna play better throughout the series? And I mean, you might have a game where fucking Isaiah Joe just lights it up from three, but you also may have a game where I don't know, like we had game. They were calling Thomas Bryant Game 6 TB. You might have a game with one of the
Shut the fuck out, man. Ain't no fucking way, bro.
I'm saying, like, that's what was going on, and I was like, I had to go back and look at the stat sheet. Like, how many threes did he hit?
If Thomas Bryant get a dub anytime in this series, bro, I cash up you a 20, bro. on my mama, on mothers. If Thomas Bryant get a 20 piece, bro, I cash up you 20, bro, off the strength, on my mother, on mothers, son. On mothers, because ain't no fucking way we talking this shit, man. Thomas Bryant. Ben Shepherd, yes. McConnell, I can see a 20 piece. But Thomas Bryant, man, nah, bro. If you Oklahoma City as the best defensive team in the NBA, if you letting Thomas Bryant get a 20 piece off the bench, bro,
something's wrong.
Not gonna happen. And it comes down to my X factor. Y'all know who my X factor is.
For sure. Talk about it.
Talk your shit, Corey. Talk your shit, Corey.
Hey, my white goat.
Talk about it.
He comes through. He's a savior at this point.
Oh,
y'all,
Lord.
they try to call that other bald head guy that played in Chicago Black Jesus. This the real white Jesus.
Oh my gosh, no, Corey, I can't believe this. He went to North Carolina. God damn it! What the fuck are you doing? Nah, this your North Carolina native. This your North Carolina native day. This your North Carolina native day. I want you to remember this shit. I want you. T and BT was here to see this shit. T and BT was here to see this shit. Get out the kid. And you the sous chef. You get the fuck out of here, man. Nah, man, move over, bro.
No, all right. No, but
Juneteenth is around the corner, man. What the fuck we doing?
For real though. All right. So obviously we know Alex Caruso. Whenever he comes off the bench, he's just a different player. He brings a different level of energy to that defense. We've seen it plenty of times throughout this entire playoffs. Especially in that Nugget series when he was able to nullify what Joker was able to do. So even if you have a Siakam that's going crazy, you bring in that second unit that's being led by Alex Caruso. He's going to take that option to go and get Siakam. He's going to stick with him. He's going to pester him. He's going to definitely foul him. So I'm not even thinking of anything else. Alex Caruso might be one of the top 5 best defensive guards in the league right now. That's whether if it's regular season, playoffs, whatever it may be. It's just how it reminds me of Matthew Dellavedova back when back when
but the Cavs,
he was on the Cavs. So you can stick him with the person that's going crazy, but the difference is with him, he's able to go almost 1 through 5, whereas Delly was only able to stick with 1. So that's the point that I like to take from that. That's the reason why he's my X factor, is seeing where the assignment goes for him. If he's able to stick with a Siakam, if he's able to stick with a TJ McConnell, do you get him in early if you see Halliburton going crazy? It's going to come down to coaching, but also like how Dave said, the bench, but more specifically, Alex Caruso. If you ask me, yes, SGA has been the best player on the court, on the floor, plenty of nights, plenty of times, but he does not get to that point if you don't have Alex Caruso there playing defense like how he has this entire playoff.
Respect. Well, look, y'all. Hey, man, this has been a hilarious-ass episode. I don't think we need to do any predictions. It seems from everyone here, especially from our homies in the chat and everything, this is going to be a pro OKC. We want to see them to win the title. Everybody has different reasons and different agendas of why they want OKC to win, but for the sake of argument, we just going to say, look, we don't give a damn. It's in 4, 5, 6, or 7. We just rooting for OKC to get there first. Well, we know because of franchise movement, everything. Technically, this will be the second, but to me, this will be OKC's dead to rights first championship for that city, for that organization. So I really hope to see them win. I think they deserve it. When you have a season like they do, you want to see it capitalized with a victory, with hosting the Larry O'Brien Trophy. So I hope they get it done. We're going to see if one more agenda thrives or one more agenda fails. So it's going to be another interesting week, and can't wait to come back next episode so we can break down these finals and see what's the NBA going to be going into the next season. But that's all I got for our folks today, fellas. Any last comments before we log off this joint?
Yeah, go ahead, Corey. What you got?
So I know that we talked so much about the Pacers being the Halliburton and everything, but we forgot another terror organization that's out. Shice is gonna run wild.
Oh shit, man.
We're gonna take it home.
What the hell? What the hell?
Shice take over.
So say what you gotta say, Dave.
That ain't my fault. I just want for the record. I had nothing to do with that. I had nothing to do with that.
I'm not blaming you, Dave. I'm not blaming you, Dave. I'm not blaming you, Dave. I'm not blaming you, Dave.
That shit was tight, though. That shit was tight. that shit was tight. But like Dre, you summed it up. Hey, you know it is what it is when it comes to the NBA Finals. But I want to give some analysis on another finals that's about to happen too, the Stanley Cup Finals. And I know y'all don't want to talk about this because the Florida Panthers sent both of y'all teams home, but there's a reason.
We didn't even play the Panthers.
Yeah, we
played her.
Oh, my bad.
So you try to give us a straight for no reason. Ain't this about a bitch?
My bad. That's my fault. But there's a reason why this is their third time coming out of the Eastern Conference to get to the Stanley Cup Finals. And I mean, like, I think they have one of the best players in hockey, at least on the Eastern side with Kachuk.
Yeah.
Them versus the Edmonton Oilers, which is high-powered offense. Like, they score a lot of goals. Like, they're not like at the very top of the Western Conference. I think they have some similarities to like an Indiana team that's like like got really hot during the right time of the season. I think I think that they lost to Florida last year. They lost to them in 5 or 6 games, I believe. But I think this year, and Edmonton has, I think the best player in the world. Like Connor McDavid has won like 4 or 5 MVP like Hart trophies or whatever.
Yeah, he's
and yeah, I think this is the year that Connor McDavid gets a ring. I think this is the year.
Okay.
I think so. So I would for him especially for Edmonton. I know it's been a while since Edmonton has won something. I think maybe about 30 years. That's when the days in which the NBA Finals aren't happening. I will be checking out the Stanley Cup. So I wanted to just say that, and then also give a shout out to the Americans that are still at Roland Garros right now, the French Open. My man Francis Tiafoe made it to the quarterfinals. He's gonna play I think Musetti. He's gonna play him. Hopefully he can get past Musetti. Who else? My man Tommy Paul made it to the quarterfinals on the women's side. Coco Gauff won her match today. Madison Keys advanced. Who else? I think I may be forgetting somebody else, but shout out to the Americans, shout out to Americans and everybody at Roland Garros. Hope y'all can get it done. But yeah, man, that's what I wanted to say, So shout out to everybody that's watching. We appreciate everybody listening and watching us. We we appreciate all the views and all the engagement that we've been getting. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button if you're listening on one of our one of the podcast streaming platforms. We're everywhere, we're anywhere and anywhere. So that slogan hasn't changed. It's still Sads and Four. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, and make sure you're keeping up with us on all the various platforms that we're on as well, like with YouTube and Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, all that good stuff. So yeah, more content is on the way. Depending on how the NBA Finals goes, there will be a rant corner. There will be a rant corner.
I think we're just gonna have content regardless how this joint going to shake. So just be on the lookout for that.
There will be content, but we all know the job that needs to get done. So but yeah, there'll be more content that's on the way. So yeah, man, we appreciate everybody rocking with us. Continue to rock with us, and yeah, make sure you stay locked in with Sads and Four.
Yes, sir. Well, with that, yo, it's my guys on this joint. My boy C Note. Then we got D, Dr. Esquire Day. Shout out to our bros, Brad, BT, and T. We holding it down for our bros tonight. It's your boy Dre from PG. We see y'all after the finals. This is Sads and Four. We out.